Morning. Morning. Let's see who's here. It's Monday. Been saying this all along. Mondays are great because it's a start. Well, I say Sundays are the start of the week, but it's like the beginning of what's possible this week. That's how I like to see things. I used to get so annoyed working with people who would just be like, "Oh, it's Monday." Like, nah, you got to. Every moment counts. So it's Monday. Woohoo! It's a beautiful day outside. Morning, everyone. So as always, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes. Really appreciate those of you who show up like really quickly because it means there's less time of awkwardness for me to kind of like fill with nonsense talk. I think we're getting there though now. A few more people. Well, I hope you're all well. I think we're going to make a start because I don't want to drag it on for those who did come straight away. Oh, there we go. We've got like 10 people. That's about what we usually get anyway. So, just want to remind you of what was announced yesterday at church, which if you came in person, good on you. Well done for making that leap. It was so good to see people and so good to just worship together, even though we couldn't sing. It you just the fact we were together and God's presence was felt in a deeper sense. It was just great. And if you didn't come, you watched online. That's no problem. But if you can come, I want to encourage you to book in, and you can because the bookings for this Sunday is live already. So you can go to our website, and at the top of the page it says something like church on Sunday or something, something like that. You'll see it top on the navigation. If you're on your phone, there's like a little three lines. You click that, and it shows at the bottom there. And you click on that, and it just gives you a bunch of information that you would need to know before coming. Things like you have to wear a mask and all that stuff, all the COVID stuff. And then at the bottom it says, click here to book in for 10 o'clock service. Click here to book in for 11:30 service. And you just click one of those. It takes you to the Eventbrite page. You put your name, your telephone number, and the number of people coming with you. That's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I want to encourage you to do that. But I also want to remind you about what was announced yesterday, which was that there's today so devotion, there's tomorrow's devotion, and there's Wednesday's devotion, and then we are finishing the daily devotions anyway. We just feel like now's the right time. We've been doing this for a long time. I think probably longer than a lot of churches out there. We've come back into the building, so there's multiple ways in which we can connect. We're going to continue with the prayer and the Bible school on Tuesday nights. So there's still other stuff to get involved in, and we are going to do a midweek like devotion of a kind moving forward. So Wednesday mornings at 10, we will be doing a devotion just for midweek connection point. But there's still loads going on, and hey, we're going to finish out Proverbs because why not? We're going to do it Wednesday. But keep an eye out for all the stuff we will be doing online because we will keep doing stuff. It'll just be different. I'm speaking to you from my office because I'm in church working. I'm in my working gear because it's a building day because we're pushing on with the cafe. So it's really exciting. I can't wait to open that cafe and have you all come in for coffee and stuff. But anyway, let's get on with the devotion. So if you have been following us, we're up to Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29. So I'm going to read it quick, and then we're going to go through some things which I believe God's given me to share with you. So a man who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. By justice, a king gives a country stability, but one who is greedy for bribes tears it down. Whoever flatters his neighbour is spreading a net for his feet. An evil man is snared by his own sin, but a righteous one can sing and be glad. The righteous care about justice for the poor, but the wicked have no such concern. Mockers stir up a city, but wise men turn away anger. If a wise man goes to court with a fool, the fool rages and scoffs, and there is no peace. Bloodthirsty men hate a man of integrity and seek to kill the upright. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. If a ruler listens to lies, all of his officials become wicked. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common: the Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will always be secure. The rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. When the wicked thrive, so does sin, but the righteous will see their downfall. Discipline your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul. Where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. A servant cannot be corrected by mere words. Though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for him. If a man pampers his servant from youth, he will bring grief in the end. An angry servant stirs up dissension, and a hot-tempered one commits many sins. A man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honour. The accomplice of a thief is his own enemy. He is put under oath and dare not testify. Sorry, just a couple of things came to mind now. I'm just jotting it down, the verses. Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. Many seek an audience with a ruler, but it is from the Lord that man gets justice, and the righteous detest the dishonest, and the wicked detest the upright. It's absolutely loads. I mean, every single verse is something in its own sense. But anyway, I asked God what to share, and this is what he gave me. What stood out the most was verse 1. It said, a man who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. Stiff-neckedness. That's what I felt God wanted me to talk to you about today. About not being a person who is stiff-necked. The Israelites, they were commonly referred to by God as being a stiff-necked people. Pharaoh was referred to as being stiff-necked when he wouldn't do what God said. The Israelites, when they pulled away from God and went their own way, he referred to them as a stiff-necked people. And God doesn't want us to be stiff-necked people. A stiff-necked person, I'll give you some characteristics of a stiff-necked person. Okay, a stiff-necked person is always right in their own eyes. Really, that means it's arrogance. A stiff-necked person's not open to change. A stiff-necked person likes to talk but doesn't like to listen. A stiff-necked person makes choices that they know others don't agree with and does it in plain sight for everyone to see. That's a stiff-necked person. But it says in verse 15, it says this, it says, the rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. So the rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. Verse 17 says, discipline your son, and he will give you peace, and he will bring delight to your soul. But verse 19 says that a servant cannot be corrected by mere words. Though he understands, he will not respond. So one of the things that really defines whether someone is teachable, which essentially teachability is what we're looking for here. Being stiff-necked is the opposite of that. It says that if you discipline a son, he will give you peace, and if a rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. So in other words, if you have a relationship with someone, whether they're a father or a mother to you, you'll be listening, you'll be teachable, you'll be soaking in off them. But actually, if you've got a servant mentality, that actually it will take a person to drive home the thing that they want to get across and beat it into you. And even then, they might do what they're told, but they won't in their heart be with you. There will, as it says here, though he understands, he will not respond. You know, I've been in that situation before. I've been that person where I've gone, okay, I'll do what you say, but inside, I don't agree with it, and I don't want to, in a different context, I do it a different way. But when I'm working with people that I see as like a father to me or a mother to me, I listen to them and I say, you know what? I trust you. I trust you. This is a relationship that I trust, and I want to learn from you, and I want to be open. And that's if you like, if you reverse the characteristics of a stiff-necked person, you get the characteristics of a teachable one. If you reverse it, you get things like this: humility. If you're a teachable person, you're humble. If you're a teachable person, you listen more than you talk. If you're a teachable person, you seek advice before making choices. And if you're a teachable person, then you have people in your life that you trust. So that's our aim, to be teachable and not to be stiff-necked. But that presents us with a problem, doesn't it? Because just because you're teachable doesn't mean that everyone's a good teacher. So we're presented with this problem. Not everyone will give you good advice, and there will be times when you're right and you should stick to your guns. So how do we ensure that we're teachable people, not stiff-necked, but at the same time don't leave ourselves open to, vulnerable to people who would essentially lead us down the wrong path? So I've got a couple of ideas here from this proverb. The first thing, or the first type of people to avoid, are angry people. People love to vent. People love to moan and complain about stuff. People who snap off at things and seem to react to things. Angry people. Verse 8, it says, mockers stir up a city, but wise men turn away anger. Anger. Turn away. If people come to you and they're angry people, turn them away. Verse 20 says, do you see a man who speaks in haste? There's more hope for him than a fool. More hope for a fool than for him. People who are angry speak in haste. They react. They say things they shouldn't say. Verse 22 says, an angry man stirs up dissension, and a hot-tempered one commits many sins. What else does it say? Verse 11, a fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. Avoid angry people, but make yourself teachable to those who control themselves. And it's a good way of knowing the difference is what verse 25 tells us. It says, fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord will be kept safe. If someone's an angry person, you'll know it because you'll be fearful around them. You'll be worried about upsetting their feelings. You'll be worried about them falling off the handle. You're worried about making a decision they don't agree with. But if you've got someone who is who really should be someone who you can trust and who you can be teachable with. They're people that even if they say something to you and you decide to do something different, you know they'll still love you. You know they'll still be all right with you. You know the relationship won't be affected. They're there to help you make the right choice, but the choice is still yours, not theirs. An angry person will make you feel as if you haven't got the choice. That it's do what they want. Or there's a problem. So avoid angry people. Secondly, avoid people who flatter, who puff you up rather than build you up. Verse 5 says, whoever flatters his neighbour is spreading a net for his feet. Verse 21 says, if a man pampers his servant from youth, he will bring grief in the end. Verse 28. There is no verse 28. I don't know why I said verse 28 for that. Oh, I know why. It's actually from the previous chapter. Terence read it yesterday. Verse 28 from chapter 28 says, verse 23 from chapter 28 says, he who rebukes a man will in the end gain more favour than he who has a flattering tongue. In other words, people who speak truth into your life will eventually gain favour with you more than someone who flatters you. And you generally speaking, you know the difference. We've got to avoid flattering people. Flattering people want to gain influence with you at the expense of your health and well-being. Someone who wants you to do well and who has your best interests at heart will tell you the truth in love. And I know, I think Andy said he hates that saying. It's all about grace, really, having grace for each other. It's saying, you know what, I love you enough to tell you these things, and so if you're willing to listen to me, then I can help you. But a person who flatters you says, you're amazing, you're great. And actually, you probably are amazing and great. I'm not saying you're not. But someone who focuses on that, be careful, because they're the type of people who are trying to manipulate you and ultimately will hurt you. So avoid people who flatter you. And then thirdly, gosh, this is a whole sermon. I didn't realise it could take this long. It got stuck into it. And anyway, thirdly, boastful people. Avoid boastful people. Verse 23 says, a man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honour. Don't go near people who will just give it all this all the time. This is fantastic verse in 1 Kings 20, verse 11, right? Where the king comes to the king of Israel and he's going to attack him and we're going to destroy you. And he says this in reply. It's brilliant. I wish there was like a modern day translation that he could just use. He says, tell him this. So this is his reply to this king who's saying, I'm going to come and get you. He says, one who puts on his armour should not boast like one who takes it off. Oh, in other words, he's saying, hey, you talk a good talk, but you've not proved anything yet. But I'm going to do my talking through what I do. You're going to see what's coming. You attack me, you're going to get it. I love it. It's brilliant. He's not boasting, saying you're boasting, but your boasting words are empty. I'm going to show you how it's done. Avoid boastful people, because rarely can they back it up. But listen to people who are humble. And then fourthly and lastly, genuine and authentic people. Terence touched on this yesterday, so I won't go to town on it. But genuine and authentic people who just live, who you can see by their life, are living a right life. Verse 2, or back into our chapter 29, verse 2 says, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. Okay, so you'll feel good about it when they're the ones who are speaking into you because they're righteous. Verse 6, an evil man is snared by his own sin, but a righteous one can sing and be glad. And then verse 27, the righteous detest the dishonest, and the wicked detest the upright. And my phone is ringing, but I can't answer it. So people to listen to real quick, and we'll finish it. People to listen to. Those that care about you, who actually care about you, who aren't in it to gain favour with you or to get something from you, but people who genuinely care about you. They're ones to listen to. Those that are humble, they're ones to listen to. Those that know the Bible, they're ones to listen to. And those that are balanced, they're ones to listen to. One of my favourite things that Terence says to me is, if something's happened that's unnerved me or upset me or hurt me or something, he just says, Luke, I know it's bad now, but it's just for a season. 6 months' time, you'll have forgot all about it. And he just brings that balance in there. Andy's good for that as well. Leah's good for that as well in different ways. But that's just one example that Terence gives me. He just brings balance in that moment. And balanced people they're just easy to be around. They're peaceful. And there's never any pushing from a balanced person. There's never any feel of it. I feel like I have to do this from this person. They're just balanced. And they just seem to weigh things up and not react in a crazy way, but just bring peace where they go. And so, yeah, those 4 people are people to look out for, to listen to, and be teachable. But the most important thing here, find those people and be teachable. All right, you don't know everything. I don't know everything, but if we listen to others, we will be more successful in what we're doing. I'm going to have to leave it there. I've waffled on for too long. Thanks for listening, guys. Love you all. Don't forget to book into church. Don't forget that we finish on Wednesday, so don't tune in on Thursday. But next week, don't forget to come back for Wednesday 10 a.m. The only time we're meeting next week. All right, and have a fantastic day. I'll see you later. If I can close this off, I've got like a million screens open. Why can't? There we go.